Hey there, Henry here from Our Freedom Formula. Today, I want to talk to you about how this ancient philosophy can help you to stop worrying. If you're anything like me, you've probably experienced moments in your life where worrying seems to be the only option. It's easy to get caught up in negative thoughts and fears of the unknown. But what if there was a way to stop worrying and find peace of mind? Enter Stoicism, an ancient philosophy that teaches us to focus on what we can control and let go of what we can't. At its core, Stoicism is about living a virtuous life and accepting what life throws at us with grace and composure. One of the most famous Stoic philosophers is Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor who wrote a series of personal reflections called Meditations. In his writings, he offers practical advice on how to live a Stoic life and find inner peace. Let's take a closer look at some of his quotes and how they can help us stop worrying. First, let's start with a quote from Marcus Aurelius. If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. And this, you have the power to revoke at any moment. So what does this actually mean? Essentially, it's saying that our perception of events is what causes us to worry, not the events themselves. It's our interpretation of what happens that creates stress and anxiety. So, if we can learn to change our perspective and view things in a more positive light, we can reduce our worry. For example, let's say you're worried about a big project at work. Instead of focusing on all the things that could go wrong, try shifting your perspective to the things that you can control. Maybe you could break the project down into smaller tasks and focus on completing one at a time. By doing this, you're taking action and focusing on what you can control, instead of worrying about the things outside of your control. Another quote from Marcus Aurelius that can help us stop worrying is, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." This quote is all about mindset. We often think that external factors like money, success, or relationships will bring us happiness. But in reality, happiness comes from within. If we can learn to cultivate a positive mindset, we can find happiness even in the smallest things. For example, let's say you're worried about finances. Instead of focusing on what you don't have, like enough money to pay your bills, try shifting your mindset to gratitude. Be grateful for the things you do have, like a roof over your head, food to eat, and the people in your life who love you. By focusing on gratitude, you'll be less worried about what you don't have, and more appreciative of what you do have. Let's look at this quote from Marcus Aurelius. "Do not waste what remains of your life in speculating about your neighbours, unless with a view to some mutual benefit. To wonder what so-and-so is doing, and why, or what he is saying, or thinking, or scheming. In other words, anything that distracts you from fidelity to the ruler within you, means a loss of opportunity for some other task." This quote is all about focusing on what's important and not getting distracted by things that don't matter. It's easy to get caught up in gossip or worrying about what other people are doing, but ultimately, it's a waste of time and energy. Instead, we should focus on our own actions and how we can make a positive impact in the world. For example, let's say you're worried about what your neighbour thinks of you. Instead of getting caught up in speculation and gossip, focus on being the best version of yourself. Volunteer in your community. Be kind to others. Focus on building positive relationships with those around you. By doing this, you'll be focusing on what really matters and making a positive impact, instead of wasting time worrying about things that are outside of your control. Another important principle of Stoicism is the idea of amor fati, which means love of fate. This principle encourages us to accept everything that happens to us, whether good or bad, and to find the good in it. Instead of resisting or fighting against the things that happen to us in our lives, we should embrace them and use them as opportunities for growth. For example, let's say you lose your job unexpectedly. Instead of worrying about the future and feeling hopeless, try to find the good in the situation. Maybe this is an opportunity to pursue a new career path or start your own business. By embracing the situation and finding the good in it, you'll be more resilient and able to bounce back from setbacks. Stoicism also embraces the importance of living in the present moment. We often get caught up in worrying about the future or dwelling on the past, but this only leads to more stress and anxiety. By focusing on the present moment and what we can do right now, we can reduce our worry and live a more fulfilling life. For example, let's say you're worried about an upcoming event, like a public speaking engagement. Instead of worrying about how it'll go, or worrying about past failures, try to focus on the present moment. Prepare as best you can and focus on the task at hand. By focusing on the present moment, you'll be more focused and less worried about what might happen. Let's say you're a single mother, and you're worried about your daughter, who's 16 and has gone on her first date with a boy who has a reputation for being rough with girls. As a Stoic mother, how can you not worry in this scenario? Firstly, it's important to recognize you can't control your daughter's actions or the actions of the boy she's dating. However, you can control your own actions and reactions to the situation. Cast your mind back earlier in the video, where Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it, and this you have the power to revoke at any moment." This quote highlights the Stoic principle that external events are neutral, and that our interpretation of them is what causes us distress. By recognizing this, we can change our perspective and reduce our worry. One way to stop worrying is to focus on what you can control. For example, you can have a conversation with your daughter about the concerns you have, and provide guidance on how to navigate relationships in a healthy and respectful way. You can also set rules and boundaries for your daughter's safety, such as curfews and rules about who she can and cannot spend time with. Another Stoic principle that can help you in this situation is the idea of premeditatio malorum, which means premeditation of evil. This principle encourages us to imagine and prepare for the worst case scenario, so that we can be better prepared to handle it if it does happen. In this case, you can imagine the worst case scenario, such as your daughter being hurt by the boy she's dating, and prepare for it by having a plan in place, such as knowing how to get to her, or get the police to her if necessary. I know what I'm about to say might sound cruel, but hear me out. It's important to remember the Stoic principle of amor fati, which means love of fate. This principle encourages us to accept everything that happens to us, whether good or bad, and to find the good in it. While it can be difficult to find the good in a situation like this, you can focus on the fact that you have a daughter whom you love and want to protect. You can take comfort in knowing you're doing everything you can to ensure her safety and well-being. You can also remember that if the worst case scenario does happen, you'll be able to keep a clear head in this situation. This will help you to find it easier to come up with ways to help your daughter. That includes going to the police if necessary. Stoicism provides us with the framework to stop worrying and to find inner peace by focusing on what we can control. Cultivating a positive mindset, embracing fate, and living in the present moment. By applying Stoic principles to our daily lives, we can reduce our worry and anxiety, become more resilient in the face of adversity, and live a more fulfilling life. Whether it's navigating relationships, dealing with setbacks, or simply finding happiness in our daily lives, Stoicism can help us become the best version of ourselves and live a virtuous life. If you'd like to find out more about Stoicism, I have some resources that you can buy that might help. I'll leave a link in the description box down below. These include books like Epictetus, The Discourses, Marcus Aurelius, Meditations, Seneca, Letters from a Stoic, Epictetus, The Enchiridion, William B. Irvine, A Guide to the Good Life, The Ancient Art of Stoic Joy, Brad Inwood, Stoicism, A Very Short Introduction, Massimo Pigliacci, How to Be a Stoic, Using Ancient Philosophy to Live a Modern Life, Einzelgänger, Stoicism for Inner Peace, Ancient Philosophy for Everyday Life. If you got some value out of this video, how about you smash the like button, as well as subscribe and hit the bell icon so you can be notified when we upload more videos. Hey, while you're at it, why not share and also leave a comment down below and let me know what you think of this video. Just so you know, on the top left hand side of the screen, you'll see a video that I believe you might like. Below that is a video YouTube thinks you might like. And if you look on the right side of the screen, you'll see an image of my head. Now if you click on that, or poke me in the forehead with your finger, you'll be able to subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. And bye for now.